Your brain is literally broadcasting a magnetic signal right now. And scientists have finally figured out how to tune in. We're talking about technology that can turn your thoughts into text and the hidden danger of magnetic smog building up in our heads. Every time a neuron fires, it creates a tiny magnetic field. And new research shows that we can now use super sensitive sensors to decode those fields to see what you're picturing, what you're about to say, and even how you're feeling. It's the closest thing we've ever come to true mind reading, but it also reveals a scary link between city air pollution and brain health. What's going on here, John?
Yeah. So in neuroscience and AI research, especially at Meta's FAIR lab, scientists have been developing models that decode information from brain activity without invasive implants. Okay. So by using techniques like MEG, I can't even pronounce it, and EEG, which measure the brain's magnetic and electrical fields at millisecond resolution, AI is trained to map these signals to sentences or images people are thinking or typing. So for example, in one published study, a model successfully decoded the letters someone typed using MEG data with surprisingly high accuracy. And we're talking up to 80% under certain conditions. So this demonstrates that rich information about moment-to-moment cognitive processes is present in the global fields generated by neural activity. Now, the article then leaps to speculation, okay? So since the brain naturally emits electromagnetic fields as neurons fire, and AI can decode these external measurements, perhaps the brain itself could, in principle, read its own field as a global summary signal. And the author cites examples from biology where organisms sense magnetic fields to suggest evolution might similarly harness electromagnetic signals as part of neural coordination. So they also reference the existence of magnetic mineral particles, which is magnetite, in human brains, which have been observed in neuroscience research and could hypothetically interact with internal fields. So just to kind of build on that, the piece proposes a speculative feedback loop. So magnetic crystals in the brain might detect the overall magnetic field pattern and influence local neuronal responses, and also trigger systems like the locus coeruleus, which releases norepinephrine and plays a role in arousal, attention, learning, and cognitive flexibility. So in this view, the brain would be using its own field as kind of like a real-time compressed summary to coordinate large-scale functional state changes. That's pretty deep. What did you get out of there? What are your thoughts on this, Craig? I think there's a lot of great implications if this is true.
Yeah, so I think of it as your brain like a high-powered computer, just like a laptop gives off a tiny bit of heat and electromagnetic hum while it works. Your brain leaks magnetic signals. Scientists use the magnetic encephalograph to basically a giant super sensitive antenna to pick up that hum. So it's a breakthrough because it's non-invasive. Like we're not drilling holes in the brain like Neurolink. We don't need to put chips in your head to understand what's happening inside. And it helps doctors right now, at least, find the exact spot causing a seizure, or can help a paralyzed person communicate by thinking. So I really think this is cool because, you know, this could have some really interesting impacts on our life. Mind to text feature, we could see allow you to type an email just by thinking your words. Better mental health. Doctors could see glitches in your brain's magnetic signature to catch issues like Alzheimer or depression years early. We know that your breathing in traffic exhaust puts magnetic junk in our brains that can cause inflammation, and being able to detect this at an environmental awareness and seeing what's happening there might allow us to treat it better. So they say for consumer level mind reading headsets are likely 5 to 10 years away.
Which isn't that far, because you look at Neurolink and things like that, which are more invasive, right? If you can kind of extrapolate the data that they're coming out with, which I don't know if they're releasing, but and use that for this, that could certainly help. But I think that there's a lot of great potential applications for this, as far as like a feedback loop for your brain to help with maybe dopamine or addictions or different things like that.
Absolutely. But this does definitely get scary in a lot of ways. Like, your brain is now officially hackable. If we can decode your thoughts into text and for medical reasons, the door is open for privacy nightmares where a company could theoretically ping your brain's magnetic state for data. And critics are terrified of the pollution brain link. We've discovered that magnetic nanoparticles from the car exhaust actually entering our brain through our noses, potentially accelerating dementia and Alzheimer's. Also, you could just extrapolate that, military are generally wearing helmets or hats all the time. Every one of our soldiers would have one of these going on all the time. So some field commander somewhere could make sure that everything's fine mentally with our soldiers. And then once we understand the brain better, that it'll be interfering and making changes. This is let's stimulate different areas of the brain to reduce pain, to make people happier, to do this, to make people more compliant, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're just that far away. And do we really want these things reading our minds? Like you and I both have ADHD at different levels, and our thoughts are all over the place. And I'm always concerned as to what inside my head conversation are you actually going to pick up? Because I got 6 of them going on right now.
Exactly.
And, it's hard for me to shut them all down and focus on one, because right now I'm thinking about the things I have to do after this event, this call. Like, I'm thinking about everything else as I'm trying to focus on this, because that's how my brain works. I'm trying to push it away. And so when you have something like that sitting on there, what happens? Like, is it a muddled cloud? Does it clearly get the strongest conversation? There's some thoughts around that. But from an input and human computer cyborgy kind of interaction, there's people who definitely want to move in this direction. And I guess if you can't type and can't speak, this kind of thing would be great interaction tool to accelerate your interactions with the computers while being completely non-invasive. So you don't have to have the brain surgery to move the stuff around. So there's definitely benefits in that area. And the more we know about the brain, the benefits we'll have over science and medical and whatnot. And maybe, we'll be able to treat prisoners and people with mental disabilities better. I don't know. But when you start thinking about that, that's a slippery slope as well. So I'm a little scared and love it at the same time.
Yeah. And then there's also, once we interpret private brain data, well, we're going to need some robust legal safeguards, right? So,
yeah. So we're moving into an era where our thoughts are no longer private, but the same tech might be the key to curing most uncurable brain diseases of our time. So would you wear a headset that lets you type with your mind if it meant a tech company had your thought data? Right now, companies are putting keyboard trackers and all sorts of trackers on your devices so they can track what remote employees are working, are they typing, or what's going on. But when your camera and the heat signal and whatever in your computer can actually detect whether you're thinking favorably about the company or not, we're in a different kind of world. So let us know what your take is on this. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
What do you got going on, John? This is stuff that's going out in the next week or so.
Yeah, so we've got some events at the Toronto Business Development Center. I'm doing some lunch and learns in person there. It's a great organization, great incubator. And then February, what date is the Startup Drinks, Craig?
I closed that, so I'm not sure. February 19th, I believe.
February 19th, but have a look at startupdrinks.com. startupdrinksto.com for that event and other events. If you need some help with government funding, SHRED, or any other grants, reach out to me on LinkedIn. But if you're interested in AI automation workflows, or you need help with your business, what can they do, Craig?
Well, we've got lots of stuff going on over at flowgrammar.ca where we help businesses implement AI and business automation so they can scale faster and more reliable, get more leads, grow faster. We also have a growing community over at flowgrammars.ca where we do Flow Grammar Cafe, we do live build events, we do demo events, we get the community together online and in person several times a month to show and demo and support anybody who's trying to do this, learn automation, end-to-end AI agent building. So check all that out. We have a series of events called Flow Grammar Cafe. The next one's February 6th, March 6th, and April 2nd. We do those right now in partnership with Workhouse, and those are full day drop-in headphones, laptop, and work. And we'll have some experts on site that can help you troubleshoot. And we all kind of do a little walkthrough in the afternoon about what you're working on and, show us what you're working on and stuff. And it's really cool. So check all that out over at flowgrammar.ca and flowgrammars.ca, and coming soon. And you can sign up for this now, flowgramming.space, an AI agent and workflow marketplace where people can buy and sell agents or workflows. So if you're building agents and don't know what to do with them, where to sell them, go over there and check that out. Again, flowgramming.space. Or if you're building workflows, or if you want agents or workflows built, you can go over there and buy them. We have some interesting guarantees, and it's coming soon, so you can get your name on the waiting list right now. That's all we got going on, John. For everything else, go to torontostarts.com. I don't even think I mentioned it that whole time. Thanks everyone for watching. All the information about CES and these interesting things. Any last words, John?
No. Check out our next episode. We're going to be talking about the weird stuff at CES. So,
all right, everyone. Thanks for watching.